Live from our studios, just steps from the fabulous Las Vegas Strip, it's the Business Lounge with your host, David Wright.
Hi, I'm your host, David Wright, and welcome to the Business Lounge, where we talk to real people about real business and real success. What we have here on the show today is an exception to the rule. I have the dynamic duo of Sythe and Deanne. They are entertainers here in the Las Vegas area. We won't be talking a lot about entertainment with them. What we are going to be talking about is the business that they run behind what they do. Sythe and Deanne, thank you for being on the show today.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Great to have you. You're friends of mine, so we're going to do this informally. So the first question I got to ask is, who's in charge?
Oh, my wife.
100%.
Hands down. Period.
Nobody's happy unless Mama's happy?
Happy wife, happy life. Period. That's your dig.
He just doesn't want the responsibility.
Responsibility is a lot.
Just getting busted out here a little bit here today.
You tell like it is. I'm the first one to go, honey, if we get some new equipment or whatever, it's like, it comes with a catalog about this thick little manual. I'll hand it straight to her. I just want to plug and play. What are we doing? So
just figure it out. Let me know what I need to do, and I'll go ahead and do it. So how long have you two been entertaining here in the Las Vegas area? Because I see you all over the place. I mean, I know you have a couple of different niches that we're going to talk about a little later on, but how long have you been entertaining here?
Well, I've been entertaining since I moved here in 2004, and which was a blessing. Just started right off, and then we together started in 2009, after I left the show that I was with on the Strip.
Okay. So you were in Purple Rain, correct?
That's correct.
Yes.
I did Morris Day on the show.
You were Morris Day on the show.
Yeah.
How long did you do Morris Day? Morris Day was one of my favorite characters out of the movie, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I know. We did the show from, I did the show from 2004 to 2009.
Okay.
And we did several strips on the, several casinos on the Strip, actually.
Okay. So about 5 years on the show, and then you guys have been performing together since then.
Yes.
I know that you have a rather unique niche that you've developed, and most people seeing you just the way you are wouldn't guess that you really have focused on seniors, and seniors love you.
Yes.
So
That's been our heart.
that's where your heart's at.
Yes.
Talk to me about some of the experiences you've had with some of the seniors, because I know the folks really love you, and you do a lot of old standards, and that's one of the reasons that they love you. So talk to me a little bit about how that developed and some of the experience you've had there with the seniors.
Well, actually, I'll let my wife tell you how it started, because
ironically,
it's kind of close to you.
Close to me.
ironically, this whole thing started because we would be playing, or he would be doing the piano instrumental up at Mount Charleston. And that was always on the weekends, and then he was doing various other things. And a certain somebody you know really well,
Very beautiful lady.
very beautiful
Sweetheart.
lady by the name of BJ, could not get to some of these, and she just kind of put it in our ear about, well, why don't you come over to the community that I'm at and just do a little something, you might actually really like it. And that's what opened the door right there.
Yes.
Right there we went. And I remember the very first one, I think it was just the piano. It was just instrumental. And the first thing the senior said is, we know you can sing. They took one look at it, we know you can sing. You have to sing. And so the rest was history. The next thing you know, the phone calls were coming in and heard about it, and we just fell in love with them. There's just something about the seniors that just touches your heart, and you're bringing joy to people in a true way. You're not just up there to look cute,
And it's funny because I've always been told by my brothers and sisters that I was born after my time, because I loved such the music of the 50s and 60s and stuff. And when I'm there, it's not that it's so much I'm just performing. It's become a ministry for us.
Yeah.
We sit there and have conversations with the residents. We just have a great time laughing after everything is done. That hour is done or whatever. We sit there and we talk with them. Sometimes we eat with them. Yeah. and it's just turned into a family. So we have so many moms and dads and grandmas and granddads all over the place.
Yes.
And it's just been a wonderful experience and an enlightening experience.
Yeah.
So I know that you've also performed on a strip at different locations. How do you go about sourcing those jobs here in the Las Vegas area? Because I know it's got to be difficult for not only for you to find the jobs, for you to keep going back to the fountain again and getting selected over and over and over. Because I want to know what your formula is, because I want to cash in on that formula that the two of you have.
Well, for one thing, I'm going to let her explain that, but one thing, we actually love what we do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah.
People say, don't you get tired of having to pack up the equipment and take it and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I love what I do. It's a blessing. And we love the communities that we go to. When it's not doing private and corporates, we love the communities that we go to. And we love the people, because there's a lot of people that don't really care. They just go in there just to sing. This is a relationship that we have with them. But I'll let my wife do her thing.
Yeah, as far as the locations that you were speaking of, you know, a lot of it is word of mouth for us. For us, we really don't feel like we have to beat down doors. We really want to go where we're appreciated, not just where we're tolerated. That's something that I have on my desk, and I remember that every time someone says, well, why don't you guys play here? Why don't you play there? I say, well, who do you know? Because really, in this world, here on the Strip and in the Valley, it's who you know. And so we get out, we network, we mingle, we do what we do, and you know, one thing leads to another. You meet someone, they may be an entertainment director, they may be an owner of a casino, which is what recently happened. So, you know, we just try to do it by word of mouth, because that way everybody's going to be happy that's involved. It's a little more win-win, because when you talk to the entertainers here, it's very difficult, because we're all vying for the same places. You know, we're all vying for the same jobs, and we don't want to get in that, because we don't want to lose the love for what we do. So we pretty much just meet people.
So that's interesting that you should say that, because most of the time, when you think of entertainers, you think about, well, you have to have representation, you have to have, you know, somebody out there championing your cause. Easy for me to say. But you have to go out and, you know, really have somebody that's in your corner talking about you. But you've gone around that and taken the middleman out, so to speak. So that's got to lead to some challenges. Do you find that people are less or more receptive when you approach them, or when they approach you and find that you really don't have, quote, representation? That
would be your larger casinos. The larger casinos definitely want to see the representation. They find it hard to believe that the person who's also helping with the entertainment is also business-minded. But business is my background. And so I feel much more comfortable with having the helms, having the reins, so that I know that what we're representing is who we are. We do not want to be put in a box. And that's just something we feel very strongly about. And if it means that we have to turn down some jobs, or maybe we get overlooked, then so be it. Because once again, we want to have a happy situation, a win-win. We want to bring them the business. And to do that, we have to be able to be who we are. And so for me, you know, we've found that, I mean, the large casinos, we love them. We love the large showrooms. We're always going to still do those. But we also like the quaint places too, so that we can be among the people. You know, and the more you're among the people, the greater your list of followers is, you know? And we want to be around the people of Las Vegas. Do we love our tourists that come to our shows? Of course we do. This is Las Vegas, you know? But at the same time, we want the people who are going to keep coming all the time, who are going to love what we do. So one of the keys to your success is really tailoring what you do to locals. Yes. I also know, amongst the other things that you do, that you two were teaching dance at one time as well, and helping, still do? Yeah. Still do? Well, wow.
Imagine that.
You know, where can people find where you teach dance? Do you teach dance to seniors, or so? What would be a typical dance lesson that you'd give them, without the demonstration and the music? But what do you have them do that's unique? Because, you know, again, it's one of those things that people would probably not imagine the two of you doing, okay? Dance lessons, studio, yes. Dance lessons, senior environment, probably not so much.
Yeah.
So
Right.
how
Well,
do you...
the funny thing is that actually their grandchildren and their their kids will actually be in shock more there than we are, because they're doing everything from the latest line dances that's out there. But I don't want to give names because, you know, that's just not given, you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so can you edit it out? No?
No.
Don't worry about it. Just, anyway, we can do they do everything. All these singers are doing everything these teenagers are doing. Every line dance, every dance step, every move, every turn, every dip. They're doing the exact same thing if we were teaching high schoolers or middle schoolers. Doesn't make a difference. And sometimes we go to slower pace just so they can catch on to it. After that, they're outdoing us. They're going longer than we are. You know, and I'm like, aren't you guys tired? No. What's the next one? What's the next one? Sometimes they learn about 3 or 4 line dances in one day within an hour, because they knock it out, they do it 2 or 3 times, they're ready for the next one.
And you know, it's amazing because I come from a dancing background. That's mine. I was a certified ballroom instructor with Arthur Murray. And so, you know, there's just not a lot of guys in the senior communities, unfortunately. So we ended up going to line dancing, and they loved it. And it just kind of evolved. And I just have such patience with them, because I know that some of them don't have mobility. And watching their mobility over a period of time increase is heartwarming. And then it turned into, there were so many that were watching that were in wheelchairs. So now we also do wheelchair dancing. And that was mine to start with, until they decided that Sythe was cuter. So now he's taken over. He has taken over my wheelchair dancing, because it's mostly women. So I'm okay. I'm good with that. I'm good.
I'm blushing.
Yeah,
You can see it.
almost as pink as your shirt.
Right on.
That's interesting, because that brings up one of the topics that I wanted to talk to you just a little bit about. Because I know I worked with my wife for 15 years in the real estate industry, and at times there were days that we needed to be at the opposite end of the house, let alone the city, so we needed to be apart from one another. You two seem to have mastered that process. So help me understand some of, oh, was that a no? Did I hear a no in there?
No, I was
No,
like,
we
really?
just-
Mastered it?
Yeah.
Oh, you are mastering it then. How about that? It's in a continual evolution, okay, like all relationships are.
Well, well, she's my best friend. She's my homie. You know what I'm saying? And it's amazing how sometimes we'll finish each other's sentences. And there's a lot of times that we think of the same thing about, oh, we can try this. Or she's already on it. Or I just come in there with an idea and she go, I just did that. Where were you? I'm like, okay, sorry. Handle it. You know, or then vice versa. You know, as far as relationship, it's all about God. We keep him in focus, and he's the center of everything. So it keeps us
I think that helps
grounded.
a lot. And, you know, I think it's because the way that we met, neither one of us was looking. You know, and I think that really helps a lot. And because we took the time. Okay, now he's laughing. They don't want the whole story.
Okay.
And we just took the time to get to know each other. And like Sy said, we became best friends. And it's amazing to me, even to this day, I'm still amazed too, because we have days when it's, you know, 12, 14-hour days. We'll do 3 shows in a day quite often, usually on Fridays. And it's you would think by the end of the day, as tired as we are, that we'd be ready to, you know, just one of us be ready to move out, you know. But somehow it just all comes together. We've been very blessed in that. And the secret to it, I think, is just don't let things get to you. You know, just don't let it get to you. I mean, you're going to irritate each other. It's going to happen. That's marriage. You know, that's marriage. That's how it works. But as long as at the end of the day you remember that's also the person that has your back, it's going to take that all the way. And honestly, we just take turns doing different things, like picking out the clothes. And I know that's one of the questions we get all the time. You know, so we just try to work together as best as possible, and somehow it works out. We get that question a lot, and we really don't feel that but we actually hear that a lot, so.
Even when we're at home on days that we're off, if I'm working in the studio and she's working in the office, we'll still walk by each other's place and I go, hey honey, love you, miss you, and we're in the same house, but yet we still miss each other because we're not right there together, because she's doing her own thing in the office, and I'm in the studio working on blah, 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 and then Every now and then we say, okay, it's time for a break. Let's go get some munchies, or and so then we can hang out, and then we go back to work, But like I said, I love what we do, And as far as the dressing, we just, ironically, when we met, we were already wearing similar colors. We would show up at the same time, and she having the same thing I did as far as color coordinating.
Wait a minute, I thought you copied me.
No,
okay.
I'm the one that's running things. I'm playing. And so it just became an ongoing thing. It wasn't planned. And so that became our thing. Everyone said, oh, that's the matching couple. Now it's the bling matching couple. And so, but we've always wanted to bring back that classic Vegas when Vegas was Vegas. Everywhere people would go when they show you show old footage of Vegas, everyone was dressed. There was no one walking around with jeans, T-shirts, pants sagging down, cat backwards, none of that. They was always dressed. Whether they was going to dinner or going to a show, it didn't make a difference. They was always dressed. So that's why we're trying to bring back that classic Vegas. And yes, we dress alike every day, whether we're dressed or sweatpants. It's still the same thing, Yes, dear, I'm quiet. I'm done. She gave me that look.
No, you talking about the sweatpants part. I'm like, oh no.
Was I talking quite a bit?
No, you said that. You started talking about it in our personal time. We're even dressed like people are going to start wondering what happens. Never mind.
Okay, so the question has to be, who decides what your show is going to be for the evening? Who makes that decision? So who's going to pick the song list? Who's picking the music? Who's going to choose what costumes you're going to change out of or change into? So.
Okay. When it comes to the music, I don't use a playlist. I go by the audience. Yeah. I have an idea of what I want to sing and what I want to play, as far as keys, whatever, but I feel the audience. And if they're more of the 50s and 60s, more of the dance, that's what I go with. If they're more of the Frank Sinatra or the Sammy Davis, I do more of that. But if it's a mixed crowd, I always try to have a variety, because I don't want to do a playlist, because then I'm set to a playlist. Like when I used to work in radio, you had a playlist. You had this song to play at the beginning of the hour, all the way down to the end, and that's what you had to go by.
Yeah.
So, and being basically our own boss, I feel it, and I just go by the audience. Okay, they're feeling this, That's what I go by, and it's over 700, almost 1,000 songs to pick from, and then so I'm sitting there going, okay, we'll go with this one. And sometimes you go to places and they want the same thing, the same request over and over again.
In other words, you make those decisions.
When it comes to
the stage, he makes the decisions on the songs. I get the encyclopedia version. He will give me the list of, okay, these are the songs you're doing backup on, and that's when I say, what? I don't know that one. He said, well, you're going to have to know it. And as far as the costumes, it really, that usually becomes kind of a joint effort because, well, you don't want anything to go wrong.
All white, all the time.
Yeah. White all the time.
Yes.
All the time, all white, head to toe, every day. It would be me.
Yeah.
Deanne's like,
I kind of like little
down.
variety. Little variety is good for me, so. Yeah.
Since you two have been together for quite a while, working together, where do you see the business side of what you do going down the road? Where do you see yourselves in a couple of years from now?
Honey?
Traveling. We love our Las Vegas, but a lot of things have been coming across our path. And people are starting to really ask us, would you go here, would you go there? And in the beginning, we didn't really entertain that because, our heart really is in Las Vegas. And with the people that we have just shared so much with through this music journey that we've been on. But then we started thinking about it, and we'd like to be able to spread more of that in other areas. And honestly, this is what I see, I'm pretty sure he'll agree with it, but I see Sythe opening for Yanni. I have big dreams, so I just speak them like they are, because his vocally, I mean, he's incredible, but to me, it is the most interesting thing to watch somebody who's not had a lesson just sit in front of a piano and play, something I think many of us would love to be able to do. And so I just believe that that's where we're headed in the next couple of years. I really do believe that we were going to be traveling. Some things have been changing in our lives now, and as they're changing, I see that they're kind of leading up to that vision, that visual that I had. So I really do believe that travel is in our future. Not sure how I feel about it yet, but
being on the
I
road
see
is
it.
being on the road. What can you
Exactly.
say? Okay, so if people want to find out more about where you guys are going to be, this is shameless plug time.
Okay.
Talk to me about where they can go to find out that information.
Okay. Now
For
he's
more
allowed
info.
to look at the camera. You can go
right.
to sythecameron.com, sythecameron.com. And that is Sythe's website where we have all of our, so much. We have so many tidbits on what we're doing, what we have done, but most importantly, the places we're going to be under the news. And that's probably the best. On Facebook, you can do Sythe and Deanne. We also have our Facebook page, and that's pretty much where we let everybody know, other than email, which is entertainlasvegas@gmail.com.
I want to thank you two for being on the show today. I really appreciate you coming. It's been fun, and no, we don't edit. We just go forward. So, with the Business Lounge, this is Dave Wright, where we talk to real people about real business and real success. Until the next time.